Hey friends, Justin Byrne here. We've got some more questions in. We've got a question in today that says tips for fighting off loneliness during the most wonderful time of the year. It says how do you graciously answer inquiries from well-meaning family and friends about your singleness? When and what to tell family and friends about potential budding relationships? And lastly, handling the social pressure to have a date for holiday parties. Okay, number one, tips for fighting off loneliness. This is something I have to say about that. Loneliness ultimately isn't just a seasonal thing, it's a life thing. Are you keeping your life in a good place? The holidays, unfortunately, can often mean added stress from having to be around relationships and families that can be difficult or hard to navigate. So it can be a time, even though it's a wonderful time, it can still be a time of heightened stress, which just puts stress on where your life is at. So depending on where your life is at, it can be a little bit more challenged during the holiday season. So what I would recommend is to work with any loneliness that you're dealing with or facing. Go and do little things that involve you with people. And specifically things that can be somewhat fun. It doesn't have to be the most fun thing, just do some little thing that can be fun with people. Just go and do it. Make it happen. Even when you don't want to. I got a tree cutting permit this year, go down and cut a tree, and I love doing that. We usually do it with the family. And for some reason, I just didn't want to do it. I didn't feel like I was in the Christmas spirit this year. It was just busy. There's some stressful things I had to take care of. But I made myself go do it. And I got a tree, and then I needed to buy some tree lights. So I went and got some tree lights, and while I was there, I also got some Christmas decorations to decorate my house because I didn't have any decorations up. And after I decorated my tree, got my Christmas decorations up, and had the lights on, I realized, oh, this is actually kind of nice. This is fun. I did something fun, and I didn't even think about it. So I would recommend, even if you don't feel like doing it, go out and make yourself do some things. I just made a list of some silly, fun little things you can do this season. I wrote down, get a Christmas tree with some friends or siblings or family members. Throw an ugly sweater party. Do something silly. Who cares? Invite people over and have a little dinner or snacks or something. Go get a seasonal drink and go look at Christmas lights. Go drive around looking at Christmas lights. Invite a friend to your town's silly little Christmas parade if you have something like that at your town. Even though it's silly, go do it. It'll get you out. It can be other people. You'll be around people. It's good. Have a movie night with a friend. Have a little Christmas movie night, or just do a regular movie if you don't like Christmas movies. Ask a friend out for dinner for the holidays. Go get a nice dinner with somebody, or make a dinner. It doesn't even have to be expensive. These are just little ideas to start something. And if you have enough of those in your Christmas season, it will help battle the loneliness. All right, number two, how to graciously answer inquiries from well-meaning family and friends about your singleness. How do you graciously? Well, you be gracious. But the real question is it difficult for you to be gracious? And then the next instant question should be, why is it difficult for me not to be gracious if I'm not being gracious? And most likely, if you're not gracious, if somebody's just asking about that, it's because it's a point of unresolved tension and pain for you. And then another good question after that is, why am I feeling so much pain about being single? What is this? How do I define this in my head? What does this mean? What do I see myself as because I'm not married? And what am I putting myself through on a mental level and on an emotional level? And I think one good thing to take away from this is people who ask about you most likely have good intentions. And there are some people who have bad intentions, but they're most likely going to be good. And to use this season, when people are going to ask, use this season to Separate your pain from the person and practice that. They're asking me and I feel a little frustrated about them asking that, but you know what? I can kind of begin to see it's not them, it's my own pain I'm dealing with, and to not place this on them and realize they're not trying to hurt me or do anything. It's just a place I'm still learning how to manage within myself and help it not to be about them trying to do something to you or bring it up or hurt you intentionally, but it's not intentional. And that's what separating the pain from the person can help you do. And it makes it much more enjoyable. You can enjoy the person you're with if you can accomplish that. You can enjoy the party you go to. You can enjoy the season much more. So it's a good thing if you can accomplish that. Oh, one last thing about that. I started doing this when people would ask me about my life, and there was a time where I was going through some difficult stuff, and they asked me, how are you doing? And I thought, okay, well, to be honest, I would tell them, I'm not doing that great. I'm dealing with this and this and this. And I noticed every time I would do that in a conversation, I would leave the conversation feeling, I just don't like the feeling of that conversation. I didn't want to bring them down. I didn't want to bring myself down. Even though it was the truth, I didn't like it. And I realized this. People started asking me after that, and I didn't want to have another conversation that felt down. So they asked me, how are you doing? I go, you know what? I'm going through some stuff, but I'm doing really good. I'm doing good. I'm alive. I'm mostly happy. I'm reasonably happy. There's life ahead of me. I'm doing good. And I brought this energy of joy and appreciation and confidence. And I noticed all the conversations shifted from feeling like this downer and people were like feeling bad for me or feeling pity for me afterwards to like a more jovial exchange and interaction, and we actually would start laughing and it's fun. I brought something different to the table, and it completely affected the people around me and how they interacted with me. So when people ask you about your relationships, see if you can shift it from something that's so negative to maybe something fun, and you bring a good energy and see what can happen with that. All right, number 3. When and what to tell family and friends about potential budding relationships or a relationship. That can be a little more circumstantial. Sometimes family can be the greatest thing to tell, and sometimes it can be the worst thing to tell. Unfortunately, again, some people have families that don't handle information well, use it against them, can be passive aggressive with it. It's a very malicious environment that is not good for anybody. So I would say always use wisdom, discretion with your situation. Sometimes families need very clear, strong boundaries, and you're going to be the only person to keep that, unfortunately. And find your friends that can care about you and want to hear what you have to say and not use it against you and listen to you. But on the other side, if you have a decently reasonable family, I like to tell my family just about everything that I want to tell them. I like to have people know about me and be in on what's going on in my life. So I think, whenever you feel comfortable, tell them. Let people know you. That also helps with loneliness, because many times we feel alone, but the reality is we're not letting anybody know us, and it's us keeping ourselves alone. So the more people healthy people you can get into your life, knowing the internal world that's really going on, the thoughts you think, the feelings you're feeling, all this stuff that nobody will ever know unless you bring it to them. The more people know about that, I think the less lonely you'll feel. So tell family everything you want to tell them, and to help when it's a safe place, it can be a great place to be known. And also, it exposes you to other people's ideas and opinions about what's going on in you. And sometimes it can be combative or they can have a different opinion, but I would say this, those can be great opportunities for people to see something that you don't see. And usually it's not comfortable, but it is so essential for becoming a person of character and a person who actually lives in reality, to have those people who can speak to us and let us know, hey, that doesn't sound so true to how I see it. And it helps you develop into a better person. So just because it's difficult, sometimes it can still be a very good thing. So the more people you can invite in the multitude of counselors, there's safety. It says that multiple places in Proverbs, the better. So family is a great place to tell. So tell away, tell your family, as long as they're safe, a safe place. And if not, find a safe place. Find the friends, find the other families, neighbor families maybe are more safe than your family. Go tell them. Go tell the people who are safe. All right. Lastly, handling social pressure to have a date for holiday parties. Okay. Social pressure for dates during the holidays. Most of the time, I believe this, most of the time people aren't really putting that pressure on you. It's you putting that pressure on yourself. I remember a friend years ago, he hadn't really dated anybody in a long time, and all of a sudden he found this girl, and everybody around him was so excited, and we just always were talking about it with him. And one day he came to me and he was kind of down. I asked him what's going on. He goes, I'm just not feeling it with this girl, but I feel so bad because I feel like I'm letting everybody down. And right then it hit me. I'm like, dude, you're not letting anybody down. The only reason we're so happy is because we're taking cues from you. Is like you were so happy in the beginning. Us knowing that you're not happy, we don't want that for you if it's not working out. There's no letting down. Your idea that the pressure from us wanting you to be with this girl is not really real. We want you to be happy. That's what we want. And we thought you were happy, but now knowing you're probably not, then we don't want that. We want you to find someone who's right for you. And you just see him lighten up because he's had all this pressure that he put on himself that he assumed other people were putting on him, but they didn't want that. Good friends want you to be happy, and good family members want you to be happy. That's what they're wanting. And when they get excited, it's because they think you're excited, so they want to get excited with you. But if you're not, let them know, and they'll want the best for you if they're your good friends and good family. So the social pressure, just remember, it's probably just your pressures you are putting on yourself. And if it is coming from other people, then you'll have to have good boundaries and maybe not bring up as much, or just say, you know what, I'm just not okay with talking about this for right now. And you can set some boundaries with those people. But other than that, a little pressure isn't a bad thing also. We can all use some help of overcoming fears and being pushed into things that we're a little bit uncomfortable about. That's not always a bad thing. So anyway, I hope these were some helpful tips. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday and Christmas, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.